Hello everybody, my name is Ronnie and this is a wire fox terrier. His name is Frakke. It's the second time he's coming. So before we're gonna start trimming, and I'm washing the dog for Dini. Before we start trimming, we're gonna wash the legs and the foreface. We're only washing the legs. Sometimes if you wash the old dog and you dry him, it's possible the coat, especially when you have a long coat, starts going open and start blowing, and you end up with no coat or difficult trimming. That's a decision you have to make. Some people like to wash the dogs all over, but I prefer to do only legs and not the body. I'm gonna wash the legs with Showtech Plus Supreme. I'm choosing this shampoo because it cleans very well. It takes out the dirt. It's always important to rub in the shampoo very well so it gives the chance to everything that's down on the skin to come loose and dirt. The dilution is 1 to 20, so it's a very economical shampoo. The shampoo is also very interesting for wire coats because it doesn't soften the coat. The coat stays harsh, which is important for wire breeds. It's very important you leave the shampoo in for a few minutes so the active ingredients have a chance to work. Otherwise, it's no point using a quality shampoo. Just make sure it doesn't come in the eyes. It's normally no problem because most pet shampoos of decent quality, they don't hurt when they go in the eyes. I'm washing the bellow to clean it also because it stays a little bit longer than the coat on the body. So I'm washing it also. I'm gonna rinse the dog. It's also very important you rinse the shampoo out very well, because sometimes you hear stories from my dog came home and it started scratching and it was itchy. Most of the time it's not the shampoo. It's possible it's the shampoo, but most of the time it's not the shampoo, but it's the way it's rinsed out. So most of the time it's not rinsed out very well. So when it's not rinsed out, it will start itching and the dog will start scratching or biting. And then you'll finally rinse out the beard. Just make sure it's clean. And then you check if all the shampoo is out of the legs. The drier you make it, the faster you dry the legs, so try to make it as dry as possible. I'm using a microfiber towel from Showtech. Absorbs the water double as much as a normal towel you would use, and it's also very nice on your hands, and also it's very nice for the dog when you dry the dog with it. I'm gonna dry the dog, his legs, with the Grumix Zeppelin. I'm gonna do the most of the work with the blaster. and then I will finish with the stand dryer. It's also very important if you dry a dog that you brush the dog where you have the flow of the warmth of the dryer. So it's no point brushing here if you dry there, otherwise it will never open the coat. It's also important if you dry that you take the terrier pattern in your hand and you open it like this so it takes the coat better. Like if you do it like this, it just opens, it doesn't open. If you do it like this, it's better to open the coat. I put the dryer on stand number 1, so the pressure is not as much as you put in the legs. After you finish drying, you open the coat to make sure there are no mats left behind in the coat. It makes it easier afterwards if everything is brushed or combed out very well.
Hello everybody, I'm Dini and this is Frakke. I trimmed him about 2 months ago and he's just been washed by my assistant Ronnie. I trimmed him 2 months ago and I think this dog hasn't got enough, not really good enough undercoat, but it's the time of year, it's February now, and when I worked for Judy we always had the first show in Manchester and we always had trouble to get a good coat on the dogs for the first show of the year. Manchester was in February. And it was always difficult because the dogs grow a lot of undercoat because to keep warm. So, but I can take a layer, this off, but I don't think he's got enough new coat underneath. But anyway, I'm going to trim him. In about 3 weeks, I think he might have a bit more coat on him, so he probably look better now. I'm going to trim him again. I like to start here. I usually always start here with every dog, I think. I put a bit of chalk on to make the grip better, and I hold him like I told you last time. I do the same, exactly the same, only there is a layer underneath. You can see there is a new layer underneath. I'll just take this off. Comes out quite easy, and you can see his new coat is here. But still got a lot of undercoat in here. I use the W2, I think, yes. I think that's suitable for a coat. If you got a very long coat, you can use a W4, but I think it's good for Westies or Cairn Terriers. Got a longer coat and you need more coat on it. So I think that's a better one for Westies or Cairn Terriers. I start off with his jacket, and his jacket I mean like this. Comes out quite easily. You have to hold the trimming knife the same as I told you before. You take a bit of hair and you leave it like this. Don't put this or that or this, just have it like this. And you hold his skin a bit tight so it comes out quite better, otherwise you do this and he don't like that. So you can see already it's a bit of chalk on it, that's why it's grey, but you can see this is a new layer on it. You can see it's a nice color, new color coming. I always work myself from here to there. I don't go there, 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 there. I just work myself all the way. I think these trimming knives are really good because they're very light. And it's good to have them if you work all day. It's very, Well, they're light and they don't make your hands so tiring. Sometimes I hold him like this. Royal Foxy don't have a skirt, so you have to follow the rounding of his ribs. It's not like a Westie. Leave it from here. This dog is about 8 or 9 years old. He's my son's pet dog. He used to go to dog shows, but not anymore. If you want to use a bit more chalk, you use a bit more chalk. Because it comes out easier, but it gives a bit of grey, but it's only chalk. You can brush it out later on. I think there is a difference in hair growth in the white or the black. I think the blackest thing is usually easier to trim than the white. I don't know why, but I think it is. I do the top of his tail and then I start on the other side. I will always first do his jacket first and then I start on the other bits. This bit is the most important bit. If you go to dog show or anything, this has to be always in condition. Also the legs, but his jacket has to be keep in condition. Again, I do the same with the other side. I use a bit of chalk. Then I take my trimming knife, the W2. I think there's a good knife for this. You can also use the W4, but I think it's more for suitable for long coats like a Westie, but you can also do it with this one. See? But if you got his coat, his jacket in condition, you can't trim it with this one. It's too coarse. The other bits you have to do with a finer trimming knife, like in the front, especially ears. You have to take a finer trimming knife. It means a finer tooth. But I just like this one the best, I think, the W2. It's suitable for a lot of things. So I usually pick them up like this, my own dogs, and I trim it like this because this is more, this side is not the easy side for me because I'm right-handed, and the other side is easier for me because it's closer to myself. Like on the white coat, you can feel his coat coming more through than his black. That's what I said, I think the white coat grows more quickly than the black coat. I don't know why, but I think it is. Okay, now I've took off his jacket like an Airedale Terrier. If you know the Airedale Terrier, this is all black. And I take that off first. That's what I start. And then I can do the front first or the back end. But I usually start myself with the front. If you got a dog in condition, like the front needs a short, you can use the W1 or the W with, I think it's W5. It's when it's you trim it for like dog shows. You can then it's very close to the body, to the shoulder. You have to keep trimming it and trim it. You have to have the teeth are very short. This more so you can see the difference. See, this is more suitable for like, especially for the ears, because it's very fine, it's very thin, and you don't want to hurt him. But you can still use the W2 on this bit because it's quite long and don't matter. But if you keep it in condition, you have to use another trimming knife. Say for instance you want to go this dog, and now you have to, if you keep his coat going in a rolling coat, you have to use different trimming knives on his shoulder because you want to keep this short. You don't want to go lower than this, and later on you blend it in with the leg hair, because you can't have short and then bulking out. But now I take it, so I always do first the rough bits, the hardest bits, and then the finer bits. You always pull in the direction the hair is growing, not against the grain, always with the grain. I always use the terry pad, I think that's quite easy, just over his coat. And you can see his new coats coming through. So last time I took the long coat off, the harsh coat, and I left the undercoat. Now I'm taking the undercoat off, and then this harsh coat, this new coat is coming through, but it's not quite coming through because of the weather. It's been cold, and if the hair grows this way, you have to pull this way. It's like always like a little curl here in his neck. You have to go with the curl. I like to use quite a bit of chalk because it makes it so much easier for me and for him. Especially when you have to keep his front in condition, I use quite a lot of chalk because it's easier. Actually, the same routine as I did the other time, only this is just the other way around. Just take his undercoat off and leave his new coat. And last time I take his harsh coat, I took off and left his undercoat. Don't wash his body, because if you wash his body, I think the coat goes open, and you never can have it. Can't have a tight coat again, because it goes open and stands like this. And unless you spray it or whatever you do with it, but you take the grease out of the coat, and I don't think it's the same. The legs you can wash, in the face like Ronnie did, that's okay. And if you got a dog like this for in your grooming shop or for a pet, you don't want to wash this, you can't get it nice, you never can get it nice. And even if you wash it, this coat is not so easy to trim because it's too clean to trim. It's more difficult to trim if you wash his jacket. His front. You can do this still with the W2 because it's not or the W1, but you can still do it with the W2, but you can do it with the W1 as well. But if you have it short and you want to keep it short like for the dog show, you have to have the shorter trimming knife, because otherwise you can't get it nice and short enough. Again, always hold the skin tight. Well, there's no need to have it really short right now. But if you want to go do it for dog show, you have to get it really short, and you have to keep on top of it. Otherwise, it'll grow, and once it's grown too long, it's difficult to get out. White foxes don't have a chest; it's not flat. For this bit I already use a shorter trimming knife, because otherwise if you grab too deep, you don't want to hurt him by grabbing his skin. Once you've done his front, I usually do his back end. So I want to take this bit off, and then I blend this in later on. You can see already this take off. Now I have to take this bit off. Here, take this off first, this bit here, and I need that for later on to blend it in, and I take this other one. The other side, here now you've done his back end or his bone. I take this tail, come on, sit down if you want. No, you don't want to. And the rest of his tail, the sides. And I've done really the hardest bit of the dog. But then I'm going to do his head. I first take off this bit and his ears. I leave a finger behind his eye, and I take it around. So I can't do anything wrong for his expression. Because if you go like this first, from right eye to here, then you might want to change it. But I just take off the easiest bit rough bits on his face, on his ears first, and then I start with the finer bits everywhere, like his legs and his eye and his face. But I use a finer trimming knife because you don't want to hurt him, or because the other teeth are wider apart and these one are finer, so you can't hurt him. It's not the intention to hurt the dog. But again, I still lay my hand over his ear, still I tighten up his skin of his ear. So I don't want to pull it like this. I hold it and take little bits, very little bits. But it comes out quite easily. You can see his new coat coming through, but it's still a bit thin. But in a few weeks it'll be nice. So now we've done all the hardest bits. You can see his coat is already coming nicely. Now I blend this in with the shortest and the longest bit. You don't want to take anything of the length, but you just want to have flowing over from shorter to longer. You don't want to take a fine tooth trimming knife because it's too fine with your leg, and you slowly pull until it's, so you blend it in. But you have to keep, if you want to show this dog, you have to keep renewing the coat all the time, because if it's dead, it comes out, eventually it comes out automatically. So you have to renew it every time. So sometimes you have to pull a little bit on the length of the hair of the dog, because otherwise it will go dead and it don't look the same anymore. And you can't shape it anymore if it's dead hair. So it goes like this, and this. I ain't got a lot of hair here, but wild foxes should have straight legs, not O-legged or whatever, bow-legged, whatever you want to call it. It should be a straight leg, so it should move parallel. So you have to have this straight, so every hair sticking out of here, especially this little bit here, you have to pull. But you have to be do it very slowly. Don't want to go it very fast, because otherwise you take out too much. Because only little bit you want to pull out. I sometimes do it with my fingers or with a trimming knife, but don't too slowly and not too fast. So now you got like a straight line. And how more you work on it, how more nicer you get it. You can't expect it in one go, but how more you trim on it, how better you get it, how nicer the finish looks. Blend it in slowly, little bits. You can already see the shape is coming there. Now you do the front legs. The front legs you do exactly the same. It's from short, slowly blend it in to longer. It's too, you want it like this. And it's the same on the sides. And his legs has to be underneath his body, so it has to go in a straight line from here to there. And you like a tube where you put a poster in. That's your aim. You blend it in from short to long. And slowly blend it in. You take a finer trimming knife, not a coarse trimming knife, a finer. It's not difficult. You take very little bits of hair and you keep trimming and trimming and trimming. You have to keep trimming and trimming all the time on it, and then you get better shape. See, it's already starting to get there. The back has to be longer. So you got the option that this is a shorter His back is shorter. You can see already the shape is coming. It's like here, here, here and here. It's like a round V. The more you trim it, how nicer you get it. Especially when you get them in condition. It's getting there already. Slowly. When you go to the show, you have to trim his feet, but if it's just a pet dog like he is now, I would just trim the edges of his feet with the scissors. He's just a pet dog now, so I don't. But I do still trim him. But he's just my son's dog. And I trim the edges of the feet so they look nice and round. But if you go to a dog show, you have to trim it. If it's make sure it's between his paws, it's nice and clean. That's okay for him. You brush him up again a bit and see how it looks. I always see a little bit you can take off again. There's always little bits. This underline, this dog, it goes like this, from there to there. You can trim it if you want. But if it's just a pet dog, I wouldn't mind if you do use a thinning scissors just to finish it off. You don't scissor off loads of hair, just the end bits really. So it looks nice for him. He goes home. I put quite a bit of chalk in his whiskers so I can get the shape nice, and I brush it with the terrier pad like this, and I do this with my fingers, otherwise I can't do it. I shape from here to there. On the other side I do the same. And you can see already now it's getting a straight line from here to there. And I take from here, I take the eyebrows out with a fine trimming knife, not a coarse one, a fine. And you can see his eyebrows already coming here. They don't have to have big eyebrows. But how more you shape it, how better it gets. You can already see the shape is coming there. Sometimes you can take a bit of the top bit or layer off. And when I trim the whole dog, I'm finished, now nearly finished. I do rake his coat, or you call it carding. But and I hold my trimming knife like this. So I want the undercoat, because there's still a bit of undercoat left in his coat, in his new coat. And I hold him like this, but hold his skin tight, and I want this coat to come out. So his whole new coat comes through. This is still his undercoat. The rest are from the undercoat I took out, but there's still a bit left in his new coat. And this coat will give the shine to this dog. In a few weeks, when you do it again, you can see the difference in this dog. This coat is come nicely and shiny. This coat is dead hair. You have to do it slow. No, don't go like a mad person. You have to do it slowly. Especially with the black patches. When you want to send your dog home to his pet owner, and you can use a bit of the Showtech Protect and Shine serum, and you put a bit on your hand like this and rub it in, and you can see the difference of his black jacket, that it goes nice and shiny. See? Brush it in with your terrier pad so it goes nice and shiny home. And if you keep trimming on this dog, you can make him look very nice and make him go to a dog show in a few weeks or a few months. But you don't want to use it too much, just a little bit on his patches. This was the second time I've trimmed Frakke. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Thank you.